Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. So this week, my big plans are tomorrow I have a dentist appointment. I want to remind everyone to always go and take care of your teeth. Don't wait till there's a problem because sometimes it's too late. I had dental problems last year. It ended up costing me around $3,000 total just to keep one of my teeth. So definitely check on your teeth sooner than later. If you haven't in a while, go and make a checkup. This is your reminder to do so. Since last year, I've been maintaining my teeth. I've been getting them cleaned, so I haven't been having any more problems. I am going to get one of my teeth capped tomorrow, and which is also pretty expensive, but once that will be back to normal condition, so that is the good news. So I know it's nothing that people want to do. It's not what you really want to do with your time, but it's important. In my dentist's office, they have a sign that says the only problem that'll go away if you don't take care of it is your teeth. So I can relate to that one. I did have to get a tooth pulled as well. If you try to get a dental implant to replace one of those teeth, it's very expensive. So this is my advice to the younger community, the middle community, and the older community to all go and get your teeth checked out. Find yourself a dentist that you're comfortable with. I find some of the older dentists are just kind of old school. They'll kind of chastise you like a parent or something. So find a dentist that you like. My dentist, my new dentist, is a young guy. He's cool, very laid back, and he just makes me feel comfortable. The staff makes me feel comfortable. That's somewhere that you want to feel comfortable because it's not the most comforting position to be in. So take care of your teeth. Make sure you whiten them. A way to whiten them, I say naturally, more naturally than like a crust whitening strip, is to use baking soda. You can dab a little bit of baking soda on your toothpaste. You can actually just clean your teeth with baking soda. You don't even need toothpaste, but the baking soda will. I brush my teeth with just baking soda, and the baking soda will take the color off your teeth. You can see it when you're spitting it out. When you put the baking soda in your mouth, it's white, but whenever you spit out whatever you brushed off, it's colored. So it's definitely reduces stains on the teeth. If you're trying to maintain your smile, just brush your teeth with baking soda once or twice a week. Hey, what's up? We're just talking about going to the dentist, how important it is. I lost a tooth last year from not going to the dentist for a couple years, so I know it's not exactly what everyone wants to hear on a Monday, but it's very important if you want to keep your beautiful smile. I would say about a year ago, I was so discouraged. I thought that I was going to lose all my teeth. I was just like, I had a toothache. A toothache will drive you crazy. That's one of the worst pains ever. And I was just feeling down on myself. I felt helpless, but I found myself a good dentist, and we've been maintaining my teeth ever since. So tomorrow will be my last visit to get work done, and then I'm in the clear. How do my teeth look? So, like I said, they have a sign in my dentist's office that says the only problem that'll go away if you ignore it is your teeth. So please don't ignore your dental health. It's just something to think about. Make yourself an appointment if you haven't gotten a cleaning recently, and go take care of something if you have something that's bothering you, because it won't go away. The first round at the dentist last year, I had no health insurance. It cost me $1,300 to get a root canal. That was the biggest purchase I made last year. Then I got dental insurance. I don't really know the breakdown, how much my dental insurance cost me a month, but I will say that the work that I'm getting done now is not cheap. I went with without dental and health insurance for most of my life, and what I've come to find out now that I do have health insurance is that everything is just marked way up if you don't, if you do have insurance. So it's kind of crazy. Like, okay, so for instance, my doctor, I've been going to him for a long time. No health insurance, so he does try to help me find medications that'll work for me in my price range, because some medications are just unaffordable. So my appointments cost $60 since the beginning of time. Well, now that I have insurance, the lady at the front desk was like, well, you know, your deductibles could be more than what you pay us. She's like, I'll file the claim and see. So I'm like, okay. They're charging my doctor, or my doctor is charging the insurance. I'm not sure which way it goes, or if it's a team effort. $150 an appointment. Why was I only paying $60 with no insurance, but with insurance it's $150? That doesn't make much sense to me. Like, for instance, I feel like if I would have went to the dentist with the problem that I'm having now, tomorrow my dentist appointment with my insurance will be $850, almost $900 probably, rounding up. I wonder what the price would have been if I didn't have dental insurance now. You know, like, does it pay off in the long run? Does anyone have any good stories about insurance, or any nightmare stories about insurance? I would imagine that there would be more nightmare type stories. Over-the-counter whitening, definitely crust white strips work well. You just have to stay consistent. You can't do it 1 or 2 times and expect your teeth to be pearly white. My sister worked at a dental hygienist office like a long time ago, before people even knew about crust whitening strips much, and she had gotten me onto them early. And then I was in high school at the time, and everyone was like, what did you do to your face? And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, oh, you did something to your face, something's different. Well, come to find out, they were talking about my teeth. My teeth were just whiter. So whitening your teeth can take years off of your appearance. It can make you feel better. It can make you feel more confident when you smile. So whitening your teeth is, in my opinion, a must. I've been trying to get my husband to whiten his teeth. He just doesn't notice, but his teeth are very yellow, and it's like all you have to do is put on crest whitening strips for a week or 2 and you will look like a new man. But he gets mad at me and just won't do it, but I'm gonna get him to do it one day. I wish I had a picture to compare our 2 teeth, because we eat the same things, we drink the same amount of coffee, so he just really needs to do like a deep crest whitening strip treatment. There's like some more, some that are stronger than others. Some are just for like basic maintenance, but keeping your teeth white, that's one thing. The dentist doesn't always think that my teeth are the healthiest, but they're always like, oh my god, your teeth are so white compared to most people, I guess, that they see. But so that is definitely my advice for the week. If you haven't seen about your teeth in over a year, call your dentist, find a new dentist, and make an appointment. You will not regret it in the long run. It's one of those things that catches up to you, and it'll catch up to you quick sometimes. You know, like, oh, I just have a little tooth that's bothering me, and then all of a sudden, boom, full-blown toothache. Go to the dentist, can they save it? It's just, you know, it really is a nightmare. Sometimes it can be a living nightmare. So prevention is key with your teeth. So prevent. That is the number one thing that you can do. Also, you want to make sure that you brush your teeth at night as well as in the morning. You don't want all that food that you ate all day sitting in your teeth at night. I know a lot of people that don't brush their teeth at night, to brush them at night, just because the food is sitting in your teeth at that point. Just my opinion. I would recommend brushing your teeth at night. But if you have a lot of food sitting in your teeth, then you want to make sure that you brush your teeth at night. So prevent. That is the number one thing that you can do. Also, you want to make sure that you brush your teeth at night as well as in the morning. You don't want all that food that you ate all day sitting in your teeth at night. I know a lot of people that don't brush their teeth at night, just because the food is sitting in your teeth at that point. Just my opinion, I would recommend that you brush twice. Once, I would brush at night. Add a little bit of bacon, use crest whitening strips. While, and my teeth are still white. I do use baking soda for maintenance, so that's important. To floss, the best way that I can find to floss is with like the little picks that have a little poker at the end, and then they have just a little piece of floss going from one end of a mouth to another. They come in packs of like hundreds, so you can just buy you a pack of those, and then after you eat meat especially, or just anything that would get stuck between your teeth, do a little flossing. And then I learned this from Teen Mom, okay? I'll give credit where credit is due, but it made a whole lot of sense. So we used to love sticky candy, like Nerd Ropes, Laffy Taffies, Skittles, all, you know, all the good stuff. Well, I literally used to have a huge, like, crystal glass ball made out of real crystal, and we would fill it up with Skittles. I don't know how our teeth survived. Well, one of mine didn't through all that, but the dentist told the Teen Mom that her daughter was brushing her teeth, but the reason why she was still having cavities is because that sticky candy was in the little hole. So think about like a piece of sticky candy getting stuck in a little hole in the floor, and then you trying to brush it out. It's not going to come out immediately. It's going to take some heavy brushing. So sticky candy, if you have any little crevice or hole in your tooth, will more than likely sit there and stick to your tooth even after brushing. So that's why it's important to avoid sticky candy. I used to think that the dentist was full of it, honestly. I was like, you know, of course the dentist would say that. But when I heard it in those terms, that if there's a little crevice or a little cavity in your tooth and something really sticky is inside of it, it's going to take more than just a general brushing to get the sticky candy out of the cavity. So that's why it's important to, if you do eat sticky candy, to do a very, very thorough cleaning, especially in places where you know you have little pits or holes or a tooth that you have a problem with. You want to focus on it so you can get that candy out. Any candy that sits in your teeth, or any sugar, might I say, that sits on your tooth for longer than 4 hours will start to decay your tooth. So that's why it's important. You don't want anything sitting on your teeth overnight. If you eat chocolate, chocolate isn't as sticky, but it will sometimes sit in the little crevices of your teeth. So give your mouth a good rinsing. I use water. I try to stay away from chemicals as much as possible, so I use just baking soda. I actually make like a homemade toothpaste. It is baking soda, vitamin E oil, and a little bit of peroxide. I find my teeth are just as clean, and the dentist doesn't notice, so I guess that's good. I'll get my teeth clean once every 6 months. But oral health is very important. It even relates to like heart health, and it's like, wait, how does that relate to heart health? Well, it's because you can't eat a whole lot of whole fruits and vegetables if your teeth are not in good condition, and that can eventually affect your overall health. So it's just something to think about. And definitely, like I said, don't put it off. It's one of those things that people tend to do until it's a major problem. So don't do that. Take care of your teeth, just like you take care of yourself. It helps with your confidence. It helps with just your people skills, and it helps with the presentation of yourself whenever you put yourself out there. You want to be comfortable whenever you're smiling. So go make yourself a dentist appointment, find a dentist, or schedule yourself a cleaning, or get, you know, a tooth that's been bothering you taken care of before it's too late and then the toothy has to go. But like, honestly guys, that's my experience from health insurance, and I hate to say that because health insurance is something that I always dreamed of having. Well, like I told my husband, it doesn't work very good. I was in a better position than I was before when I had no health insurance. I would pay for my general maintenance. I would go to the doctor once every 2 to 3 times a year, I would say, okay? 2 to 3 times a year, $60 a appointment. I can definitely afford that. My health insurance monthly is $350. That is not so easy to afford every single month versus once a year. My medicine is not that expensive. I take 2 medications. They come out to around $60 a month. So honestly, I'm paying a lot more. I know it's for like emergency stuff, but how often do people go into the hospital in their lifetime if you're a generally healthy adult? I've been to the hospital one time as a child. How many times have anyone else been to the hospital? Because, you know, everyone's paying a lot of insurance just in case, you know, and it's always just in case. And then once you do file a claim, you still have to pay, you know? Or if anyone's from out of the country, do you guys have better health care and health insurance? Because, like I said, what I am seeing is, and I've been keeping my bills just for proof of reference, that people are marking up their services and charging the insurance companies more, or vice versa, that insurance companies are claiming that your doctor is charging much more than they actually are. I'm not sure who the bad guy is, but I would say that it would be more of the insurance company, because it has happened with my medical and my dental. I do have to go get my vision looked at as well, but I mean, I've spent almost $2,500 on my teeth just this past year. Some with health insurance, some with not without. But I sure wasn't expecting to go with health insurance this time and them to be like, oh, it's going to be $850. Oh, well, let me start saving up money. You know, it's like, I don't know. I feel like all the way that they have the system set up is really a scam, and it sucks. It's not ideal. Hey, Callie. Yes. Yes, because like I said, trust me on this one. I lost a tooth last year because of it, and then I had to get a root canal on another one. It was all good until it wasn't all good anymore. So make sure that, like I said, your dentist, make sure he makes you feel comfortable. The first dentist I was going to didn't make me feel quite that comfortable. He was very critical, made me feel judged. Where the dentist that I went to, he's a younger guy, my new dentist, and I love him. He's just like easy breezy, like let's take care of what you got going on, no judgment. So find yourself a good dentist and do the maintenance. If you have something bothering you, go get it checked out. It really is, like I said, the only problem that'll go away if you ignore it is your teeth. So brush twice a day. You want to floss. Get your little floss picker. Keep some in your purse or in your car if you're a guy. Just so you always have it on you. You know, like a piece of meat in your teeth will drive you crazy all day. So that's a good way to maintain your teeth. Add baking soda to your toothpaste, or you can make a homemade toothpaste like I do. I use baking soda, vitamin E, oil, and then also a little bit of peroxide. There's a bunch of different ways that you can make natural toothpaste. The baking soda gives you the grit that you need to scrub. The peroxide gives you the disinfectant, and then the vitamin will just like health and maintenance. So that's my little homemade toothpaste that I make at home. So it's an option, you know. You don't always have to feel like, oh my god, all of the toothpaste has fluoride in it. It's like, well, make one yourself then. You do have to be careful with the baking soda. Sometimes the baking soda will have aluminum in it. Aluminum, I think, is a bigger problem than anybody realizes. I think that might have some contributing factors to a lot of health conditions that we have. So just, when you are messing with aluminum, to make sure if you put it at the bottom of a pan that no aluminum sticks to the piece of meat or whatever you're cooking on top of it, because there is a lot of cross-contamination with that. Yes, I've done coconut oil too, Kelly. I kind of switched between the two, to be honest with you. I don't know if coconut oil has any sugar in it. That's kind of why I stepped away from it, because coconut is a sugary fruit. But I need to look at the container, honestly, because if I don't have enough vitamin E oil, I will use coconut as well. So that, and it'll also give it a little bit better taste, because the taste is not ideal. You will have to adjust to it. But I've never switched back, so it's really not that bad. But my teeth are definitely whiter without having to use crust whitening strips from the baking soda. So even if you don't want to, totally switch over from toothpaste to baking soda or a homemade, and then also if you do use baking soda, like straight baking soda, you want to wet your toothbrush and then stick it in the baking soda, so the baking soda has something to stick to. And then after that, you can't rinse your toothbrush underneath the sink until once it's in your mouth, because if you rinse it with the baking soda will just fall off. So that's just a little tidbit if you do decide to try it. But I do highly recommend it, just to reduce, any toxins to your brain, your teeth, like a root canal. That nerve that is so painful when you have a toothache, that nerve directly connects to your brain. So what we put in our mouth is very important, especially chemical wise. I know there's a lot out there about fluoride, calcifying the pineal gland. If that's true or not, I'm not sure. But why would we take the chance, Anything so what it does is fluoride calcifies your teeth. Well, if it calcifies your teeth and makes them harder, then it can calcify things other places. So if it calcifies something in your brain, it can prevent, there's a very small valve that goes to the pineal gland. So if that gets full of calcium or calcified, then the pineal gland is just out of business pretty much. So like I said, I'm not saying that that's true or false, but I'm always just self-aware about things like that. And it's funny, the two things that people think are the most essential, like if you're going to be on a desert island for a week and you could only pick 3 things to bring, essentials, what would you bring? Well, most people, I know 2 things most people would bring: toothpaste, fluoride, which is in the toothpaste, and then deodorant, which has aluminum in it. So the 2 things, if you wanted to infiltrate someone or just everybody with some type of toxin, that would be a good way to do it. Everyone uses deodorant, everyone uses toothpaste. Toothpaste is going directly into your mouth. Deodorant is going directly onto your skin. So just say if they wanted to infiltrate us with something, that, like I said, would be the way to do it. I watched a Ryan Trahan video, and he had to pack 3 essentials: 2 essentials, toothpaste, and deodorant. 2 toxic things that we put in our body. So are we just conditioned to believe that they're necessary? Not saying that they aren't, but there are alternatives, things that are safer. That's what it looks like we're trying to focus on now. It's just reducing chemicals. If it's not necessary, get them out of here. We don't want the chemicals. We want natural products. I did hear that Big Pharma a long time ago kind of dismissed all of the natural remedies so they can be more profitable. Go figure. So they couldn't say that a natural remedy was a cure, even though it would fix the ailment. because it's not a medication. Well, that's a crock of noise, you know, like that right there is big pharma just trying to sink the little guys and things that work, any competition, you know, like that's what big pharma is great at. Like, you think they want to cure the disease that they have $1 million pill for? Probably not. So always look, my grandma used to have a book of natural remedies, and when I tell you, my mom would pull that thing out all the time, and when I tell you, almost 100% of the time it would work. So always look for a natural remedy for any ailment or problem that you might be having before you turn to a medication. Like I said, my long-term MD, like, I don't think that he is giving me bad information intentionally. He just does what they tell him to do, and I understand that because we're regulated by the government and we do whatever they tell us to do, you know. It's like no questions asked. If you don't do this, you lose your license. So my doctor sometimes, or just really always, he always goes for the medication because that's what he was taught to do in med school, and I don't fault him for that. But he listens to me and he understands that I am cautious about medications, and we do try to talk about natural remedies when I bring them up. So if that's something that you're interested in, always bring it up to your doctor. They know about them. They just are inclined to prescribe a pill for most things. It makes it easier for them. It's less work. Here's your pill, be gone. So always just consider and remember what you're putting into your body, whether it's chemicals, via your mouth, via your body, via your skin. You will always want to take care of yourself first and foremost. Always thank you, Kelly. I appreciate you listening. I'm going to be trying to think of a new hoop workout this week. So if there's something that you might have an idea about or something that you're interested in, let me know, and I will try to make that happen for you guys. I'm about to start my day, my work day, so I will catch you guys on the next live, and I hope you have a fabulous week, and go make a dentist appointment if you haven't.